So who's allowed to drive under the new Uber Act brought by Tommy Tuberville? Act basically says you got to write English and speak English before you can drive. Now, that's clearly aimed at illegal aliens that are acquiring these accounts through third parties, no knowledge of English, can't read or write. But I think Tuberville fails to see the big picture here, and that is he does not truly understand what safety on Uber means. Uber fires back and says, hey, you have to have a valid driver's license, you have to have a background check, we do it with Checker, so all of our drivers are, completely by the book, by the law. However, Uber and Lyft and the other companies that this act is targeting also fails to acknowledge that it is so easy to rent out an account as an illegal, for example. Now, if you look at the United States, if you look at a lot of other countries, it's a mixture of immigrants, legal immigrants, whether Italian, Greek, Spanish, German, Swiss, French, English, Mexican, right? It's a pretty colorful, I think they're like over 200 spoken languages in the United States. So it's a wide variety of people, and to be quite honest, I don't think this act is going to fly. What they should really concentrate on is proper safety measures, proper verification, proper background checks against real databases, not third-party databases. Is this individual a criminal? What type of background does he have? And I bring this up because Uber put an individual in Brandon Lombard's car, and they said this individual was verified. This rider, Casey Webb, had a whole string of different convictions. So their verification process, I know for a fact, does not work, and carjackings and murders and assaults happen every single day. Now, they've tried to diminish a lot of those assaults and that through the woman driver, woman drives, woman drive woman. That's has brought down assaults to a certain degree. But the real issue here boils down to education, really education. There are too many teenagers out there, too many people after COVID that are expecting freebies. Much easier to go out, steal a car, carjack a car. A lot of teenagers are doing this. It's easy to summons a car, actually summons the car that you want. You can do multiple requests until the right car comes. Yeah, this is the car I want to carjack today. And teenagers are well known for it. And then again, you're breaking down. The administration is literally ripping the education department, firing left, right, and center. I mean, you don't have much of an education department left. It's truly a dumbing down, of the nation when you start demolishing the education department. You got to beef up education. Education is everything. Parenting and education is everything. People having jobs, parents not having to multiple jobs where the kids fall aside, where the teenagers fall aside, and then go out and do their shit and their shenanigans, right? So, jobs are needed, a strong economy is needed, and educated people are needed. What Tuberville is putting forth is unfortunately not going to fly. I cannot see it passing. I mean, that would, I don't know how many people that would wipe off the platform. But we should really start with, the people who are truly illegal in this country, doing bad things like, peddling drugs, or in our case, affecting gig workers because they are renting out third-party accounts. That's where Uber and Lyft and other companies need to tighten up. They're not doing that. That's where Tuberville should start checking with Uber and Lyft, right? What is this business about you guys renting out these third-party accounts? That needs to be clamped down. That needs to be tightened up. So it's unacceptable that certain people are on the platform taking away jobs from people that are here properly or born in the United States. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a bad idea, but it's not thought through. The man knows nothing about Uber and Lyft. He knows absolutely nothing about Uber and Lyft. He reads headlines. He wants to feed some raw meat into the whole immigration issue. So brings out this, this job should only be for people who speak English and who can write English. Good luck with that one, Tuberville. It's not going to fly, right? It's not going to fly. They should really start investigating, putting money in, researching things on how to truly keep drivers and riders safe. And that comes with a more vigorous background check for drivers and for riders. That comes with, making core fundamental changes to education, strengthening up the economy. Both parents should not be working, doing multiple jobs, neglecting and putting their children aside. I'm sorry. So the current state of affairs is pretty effed up. It's pretty effed up. It was bad under the Biden administration. It's got even worse under the Trump administration. Telling you that the economy is strong, the economy is great, bullshit. I'll tell you straight up, the tariffs are not working. They're absolutely not working. I do think the Supreme Court will shut the tariffs down. We need to strengthen up the job market, strengthen up education, so these thugs are not created. These little mini thugs, these teenagers carjacking every single day. That's what's in the news. That's what's driving this. And sure, you can conduct better education, and you can take certain tests to become a driver. You could strengthen up that whole system. So I don't completely disagree with Tuberville, but I'm going to tell you the act is not going to go anywhere. Because if that act was enforced tomorrow, all the gig companies might as well just shut down. They have independent contractors from all walks of life, all colors of life, all languages of life, and that's just the way it is. So, leave your comments. Maybe the video got a little bit political, but I'm sick and tired of the people that say, the economy is strong. The economy is shit. I'm paying more for gas than ever before, right? I'm paying more for groceries than ever before. I'm not going to have a person tell me it's otherwise. I go shopping. I do fill up all my cars. I see what's going on. And, I see people don't like to talk about is all the job losses. Well, the gig sector is picking up because a lot of people who are employed, who have jobs, are losing their jobs. And they're going over to the gig sector because it's very, very easy to get an Uber or a Lyft job if you have the right driver's license, if you have the right paperwork, right? So I do see a large migration of people going, from unemployed over to the gig industry. And the companies they could pour a few $100 million and tighten up and build a legitimate AI-driven security system. That's my background. I had security companies in South Africa. I offer private trips and security here in the United States for high-end clients. Know what it takes to keep people safe. Uber and Lyft don't know what it means to keep people safe. And Tuberville is making some pretty grandiose suggestions, trying to maybe fix the issue, or trying to maybe keep the issue of immigration in the headlines. But the guy doesn't drive UberX. He has a private driver. He has his private driver. And if he travels, I'll guarantee you, he orders Uber Black or some luxury vehicle or a private driver. The guy knows shit about UberX. And here he is preaching about, oh, the Uber Act. We're going to bring out the Uber Act. Everybody's got to learn English and speak English and write English now. It's a nice idea. Try and implement it. It ain't going to work. Bottom line is, cities like New York, LA, Chicago, the big metropolitan, it's a huge blend of internationals. Accept it. You can fight it. You can try and fight it. You can try and change it. But that's the way it's going to be. End of story. And let's start working on true safety. Let's start investigating why so many teenagers are carjacking vehicles. Let's start investigating why people can get illegal accounts on Uber and Lyft and actually lease out those illegal accounts. Let's start looking into that, and let's start doing something proper about safety, which those CEOs are not willing to do, or they're just incapable of doing. There's a lot to be done, my friends. There's a lot to be done in the area of safety and security. You know, give us $100 million and we'll change this platform for the good. And I stand by my words. You cannot abolish an education department. You have to beef up education, and you have to create a strong economy. Strong economy means jobs. When you're getting paid well, when you're getting bonuses, when the economy is flourishing and doesn't have such crazy inflation and people are losing their jobs, then you're having all of these kids falling to the side. There's no parenting, there's nothing going on, and those kids then become the real trouble, right? They're expecting things for free, right? In COVID, there was so much money handed out. People were expecting, oh, you know, I should be getting this. I should know. You go out, you hustle, and you work for your money. Input equals output. So leave your comments. Love to hear what you think.